So we're gonna do a quick Q&A. So thank you for coming out tonight. When we programmed to show Emilia Pérez, like what it was a month ago, it was already swirling in controversy. But it has escalated, but we felt like we wanted to show it anyway for many reasons. But we'll let all of us have our conversation tonight. So I want to welcome up Heather Robles, who is the Artistic Programming Manager here at BAD. So I want to bring Heather up. And also invite Nicole Tecuya. And Nicole Tecuya is with the Trans Latinx Network.
Yes.
And so we can have a conversation about what we saw tonight. Maybe take a minute to ingest it and process it, or we'll have a moment to be able to speak about it and about any of the elements with it. So I'm going to give the mic to Heather. This is Heather and Nicole.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for coming. So excited to be here with you, Nicole, and with all of you. So this is really a discussion with everybody. And because there's so much to unpack with this film, I thought maybe we could actually just start, since it's so fresh, with some just popcorn keywords of how you're feeling. It could be like one word or just like some fresh reactions that you might have that are just very brief, just popcorn style without a mic. You could just scream it out. Oh, and you have a mic, so we could do it that way.
Based on what I see, this movie, religious people. My name is Daine Martinez. I'm Daine Martinez, D-I-N-I-C-K. I'm proud atheist. I don't believe in God and religious books. And what I see from this movie is that a lot of religious people might have a heart attack. They might end up in the hospital because so many hot topics in there. So sorry for the religious people.
Thank you for sharing. I think we had another in the back. Oh, great.
Oh, hi. I found it very controversial, but also accepting. It was controversial because they were in Mexico and she was attracted to a woman. That's why it's controversial. And then I found it accepting how she actually changed her life around.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning. My name is Emilia. I am a transgender woman. I want to say that I really like this movie. I listen many things, many opinions of the other people. Sorry, my language is Spanish. I'm going to try to explain in my words what I feel about the movie. But I listen many opinions about the movie. And some opinions were bad about this movie. But I really like it. I consider this movie very smart movie. I consider the director, the producer, and the people that create this movie very smart because they made like the people feel like a bitter, sweet feelings. My brain was broken because I feel like compassion and sad for that person, for Emilia Pérez. But at the same time, I was thinking that was a really bad man in the past. So when a creator make you feel a lot of feelings in just watching that movie, that is the exit. I think that this movie really deserved an Oscar because of the feelings that I had today. I think that is a good movie when the movie makes you think a lot about the things that the transgender people live. And I'm so happy. I want to say that Emilia Pérez she doesn't represent the transgender community because our reality is completely different. That was a man that tried to change your life as a woman just because he wants to protect themselves and his family. But the reality of transgender women is completely different. But at least I'm so happy that we have like a visibility in the movie
from Mexico.
Yes.
We have chatted before about this movie, which was a lot of fun to chat with you about this movie. You have a lot of thoughts about it, and so I just want to actually pass the mic to you to get some of your impressions of some things that you're thinking about with this film, whether it is, problems that you see with the film, things that you think might be empowering or relevant to today, anything.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you everyone for your kindness. I love your place, amazing. Church, I feel like I very positive energy in this place. Thank you for having me. A little bit about myself is that I came from Mexico when I was 16 years old. I crossed the borderline back in 1994. I was 16. And my career started when I was 17 as an activist because I noticed that I'm living in Queens, being a sex worker, undocumented, transgender female. We didn't have any access to any services or any resources. And it's been a struggle for my community, the trans immigrant community. We still struggle to these days. Regardless to the movie, I think is a movie made by a Frenchman, which is only one Mexican in this movie. And doesn't represent my culture. We are more than cartels and narco and drugs. When I just went to Puerto Rico and I was in shock. People were so kind, everything. I just fell in love with Puerto Rico. And the people are just so amazing. They're just amazing. And I look around other Mexican food around me, other Mexican food. I cannot, I'm writing a book about myself, but I cannot write a book about Puerto Rico because I'm not Puerto Rican. I don't know the culture as I feel like I should. So I feel like if you want to do a movie, represent my community, my people, my race, you should at least have the respect and the decency to talk about, the nicest things. I understand the narrative since the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, and 60s, till maybe recently, we see diversity in movies. But I'm Mexican, we always been represented as the bandido, the drug dealer, the prostitute. I'm proud of that. I used to get paid and I like it. But what message we're sending right here? I mean, Emilia Pérez, when I heard the movie was coming out, I was like, I gotta see it, it's gonna be amazing. People talk about it, good things, it's a musical. I think the music, I think it's okay. The singing, I don't know, I was punished in my ears. And no, really, no. I mean, I like musicals like Wicked, that's amazing. Barbra Streisand, my God, I love those musicals. I also saw the movie Machismo. Another machismo in the violence against women. And machismo is something that other people will live it with that. We run away from home because we wanted to be free and away from machismo and violence. If we made it to the US, God bless the US as we here. But I also want to también que quiero decir es porque la película no representa mi comunidad translatina, emigrante, transgénero. In reality, we struggle so much. Like I paid for my breast implant when I was 20 years old. And excuse my language, but I suck a lot of dicks to get where I am today. Nobody give me nothing. I mean, like I really New York City men are amazing. They pay for everything. But it's been a struggle. Ha sido bien difícil ser una mujer transgénero en Nueva York, emigrante mexicana y ser una persona de color. No es fácil. So, this movie represents someone who has resources, privilege, and the reality is not like that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it.
So we decided to show this film knowing that it's not perfect, and it's because Charles and Arthur and I, after we saw it, we couldn't stop talking about it. And Charles asked this great question, or you didn't even ask the question, Charles, you just said this. You said, if I was gonna write the ending, I would do. And I loved that. So and I think this is a great question actually for everybody, if you were to write the movie, how would you do it? Because this is a movie about our community, right? But it's not told by the people who are from our community necessarily. It's important that we have a say about, the stories that are told about us. So I'm wondering, what do you think the impact of this film is on our community, especially in today's climate?
La pregunta que me hace es, por ejemplo, si tuviera la oportunidad de escribir el final de la película, ¿cómo lo haríamos? Usted lo responde más tarde. I've seen other movies about transgender females. Since Transamerica, Felicity Hoffman, Princesa, about transgender female sex working in Brazil, La Vie en Rose, about 1992, The Crying Game, 1994. We have movies out there that represented the struggle of the transgender community. We've seen it before. And other times it was not done by a transgender female. So other people tell me that's a movie to empower transgender females. And like, I don't get that. Like, I had to kill people and then become a woman to run away from the police and then go back and to feel empowered. It's not who I am. I love people. I love the human race, regardless of gender, sex identity. And if I wasn't a write book, it would be probably about, I feel like the director and all those people, they should have called one of us. We're other TGNC people, other stories that we can tell all of us. I think I feel like we should create a movie company made it for us, by us. You know, to tell the stories, the reality of the life we're living every day. Creo que podríamos empezar por crear una compañía para todos nosotros, para nosotros. Para alguien que podamos decir nuestras historias de nosotros mismos. We don't need a French man to tell us what is wrong with Mexico. We know that. I mean, I ran away from Mexico when I was 16, right? And it's been 30 years that I never went back to my country. I mean, I was documented, now I'm a U.S. citizen, Baruch Hashem, Hebrew means thanks God. But I don't know if I want to go home anyway. I don't want to go home. This is my home. New York City is my home. And in this climate that recently we've been attacked. We've been attacked. I'm going to use the word, for being a transgender, for being undocumented, for being bronze, black and brown, and it's happening at Tierra. And movies like that portray the idea that Mexicans, we drug dealers, that we low lives, that we here to grab and kill people. I never killed anyone. I haven't heard anything. So I think if it was about me to write the end of the story, happy ending doesn't work out. The end of the transition doesn't happen. In my case, I've been living my life as a female since I was 17 years old, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get to the end of my transition. I probably wanna be one day an old cow, old lady, and I still wanna keep changing. Every day we're changing. As a human being, we're changing every day. I was not the same person I was yesterday. I'm not going to be the person that I am today. I mean, tomorrow. I will be a different one. We're all changing. Human beings have the power to change, to evolve, to become something new, something better. For worse or for best, we're always changing. So if I was going to write a movie about transgender females, maybe I would totally look first, my character has to be transgender female. It has to be a transgender female living with the life experience. Someone who knows who she is. I believe she is a transgender female in real life. She was an actor, and then now is I think a trans lesbian, and is an actor, and then all the comments that she's been, that have come out in Facebook, Twitter, we know that. And I mean, I'm embarrassed for her behavior. I mean, she could be the first transgender female getting the Oscar. I don't know who got to choose that, because I mean, her singing sucks, let's face it. She cannot hold a note. I mean, I cannot be a doctor because I don't know, I never went to school. I have experience as a sex worker because that's what I used to do since I was 17. I can tell you about lying on the street. I can tell you about meeting amazing people too on the street. But I cannot tell you, not an actress. But anyway, back to what you asked your question, how I'm gonna write the aim of the movie. I probably would just, I don't know if it was me, I would just like go and find some hot guy. And we go on my life, now going back to Mexico, I explored Europe, and I let my wife and kids be happy with their lives, because at the end of the day, we all have a life to live. And at the end of the day, we just have to be happy with ourselves, and embrace who you are and just be happy. I mean, we're all gonna die one day anyway.
That's true.
Wow, there's so much to talk about. And I have to say, I watched this movie tonight, and I felt very different than when I saw it the first time. Part of what I was thinking about is when I talked to you, and you said that the music was horrible. And so tonight I was like, yeah, it could have been better. There's a lot about redemption in this story, and as you mentioned, there is a lot in the news right now about the artists. And I'm wondering, this is a question I have just personally in life when it comes to so many artists, but for this discussion, do you think that we can separate art from the artist?
Oh my God, that's a difficult question. It's like separating Picasso, it's like comparing Picasso, which I hate, and I love Vincent van Gogh. He was a tortured soul, like so many artists. It's just, like, it's like talking about Frida Kahlo and then Picasso. It's two totally different things. I feel like the movie I think it's creating, make people think, people are thinking out there, people really are like seeing a transgender female. She's like the Kylie Jenner of the Latino community, I guess. I want to use that. Because she made it right to Hollywood, to the Oscars. Wow, that's amazing, right? But, you just cannot talk trash and then go up there and say, I represent this community that has been marginalized, all those things. She's a white person from Spain. She has, and I'll be racist, I love white people. All my boyfriends being white and black. Okay. I like everything. I don't discriminate. So she's a person, a white man. She usually has a white man, an actor, light skin, with privilege. She doesn't know the struggles of the community. Also, Spain has a different lifestyle than what is living in the United States and also what is living in Mexico. And working in Trans Latinx Network as a counselor with a lot of migrants that come from a lot of different places of the world, not just from Spanish speakers, but people from all over the globe. They share the stories with us, and the stories are very touching and they're totally different. They're running away they just run away from home, from the Canadian countries to find a safe place to live, to just be themselves. Nobody wants to go home when you've been threatened to be killed. And then she goes back to Mexico, and then she becomes the mother Teresa of the community. Wow, that's lovely. Wow. Redemption, right? And what about all the people that she killed before? Like, can you really forgive you past me? Like, doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't think we can separate the artist from the, from the movie. Like, everything is connected. And I'm really sad that she's not gonna win the Oscar. I hope she doesn't get the Oscar. I really don't hope so. Yeah.
There's that scene where Zoe Saldana is doing this dancing in her, actually it's in this red suit. And
yeah, I made it actually. I make clothes. I made it myself. I'm working to come over and see you guys, so thank you. I did. I made it.
that's incredible. We're gonna have to talk about that later. Do you take orders? Like, is
I
it a
used
business?
to work in fashion before. I became legal in 2015. I got my T visa. It's a human trafficking. I got the human trafficking visa in 2015. And then I was able to go to FIT. That's my boyfriend that he paid for my classes. So I went to FIT. And I took fashion designer and merchandise. And I started working for a designer, one from Israel, which is amazing. And then I was a fashion designer assistant before Dana Karen sold the business to a Chinese company. And then moved the company to China. But I'm able to do dresses, gowns, anything. So I'm not doing it anymore, but I have other skills besides music. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. So in the scene, they're raising funds, right, to find the disappeared. And Emilia invites one of her colleagues in the drug cartels. And Zoe says, that's not clean money. And I thought that was really interesting because usually large sums of money have echoes from oppressive sources. So, it kind of asks the question, what is clean money? And I guess I don't know what the question is regarding that, but I think maybe related to this idea of redemption and people being human and making mistakes, she's not a perfect character, right? But is there also power in her story? Because we each have, none of us are perfect, but we each have power in our stories, except for you, perfect.
Wow, yeah, I guess we all make mistakes, porque todos hacemos errores. La redención que ella hace es después de todo lo que hace, como lo vimos, se convierte en una mujer que quiere ayudar a otros. I don't know, Anyway, I don't think I can answer that question. Anyway, maybe would you ask any one of you? Any one of you want to answer that question?
What was the question?
Redemption. Okay.
Right here.
Yeah.
So,
I think that she wanted redemption because Zoe Saldana asked her, what are you going to do? and she said, I'm going to use my own money to actually find dead people. But then she did it because first the woman's son who was missing since 2013. And then she said to her, can she forget about her past? So I think the woman has sparked something in her that made her want to like change change her ways that for the better. And so when she went back to Mexico, I think she went back first for her family, but then to get redemption, to show people that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Leslie, the one.
I want to talk about it, not in English, in Spanish. I want you to translate. Nico. You can translate, Nico? Okay. En realidad, yo viví en esas áreas de narcotraficantes y las personas, en realidad los narcotraficantes no buscan una redención independientemente que haya cambiado de sexo. La gente allí no es así.
People who work for the drug cartels, they do not look for redemption and they do not nicer and kind like they portray in this movie.
Recuerden que esta película es como ficción, no creo que no se asemeje a la realidad y yo no creo que un narcotraficante que ama a las mujeres, independientemente a las mujeres, a las mujeres pequeñas, porque yo era una peluquera o una cosmetóloga en donde yo vivía en esas áreas de narcotráfico y peiné yo a muchas niñas que eran hijas de los pistoleros que lo custodiaban y todas esas cosas y esos narcotraficantes se robaban a esas niñas en sus fiestas de 15 años y en realidad una persona que es mala, que hace esas acciones, no creo que tenga redención, independientemente que tenga mucho dinero y que quiera cambiar su sexualidad. Muchas veces lo harían, pero no por evadir justicia, pero no porque yo no creo que si Emilia Pérez existiera en realidad, sería trans, sería un hombre que se está disfrazando para pasar desapercibida sus crímenes en esas cuestiones.
Emilia Pérez really exists will be like that. Mostly men who commit those crimes, they do not look for redemption.
Y un comentario extra acerca de la película. La película sí me gustó, o sea, se me hace entretenida, tiene muchas cosas buenas, independientemente sacando el tema de que es trans y todas esas cosas. Lo único que no soy un crítico de arte ni nada de eso, pero creo que la historia está demasiado buena como para joderla siendo un musical, porque las personas que cantan ahí, la verdad que fatal. Solamente eso, gracias.
Even further to the community, a question I have is, what is something, if there is something that you found powerful about the film, what is it? And if on opposite, there's something in you that's like, that's not true, that there's something that you know of your own life or about our community that is powerful, that you didn't see represented. Can you share that?
Una pregunta para la comunidad es, miraron en la película algo que los representa, que se sienten empoderados, y se pueden compartir ustedes algo que tal vez ustedes vieron en la película, que habla de sus comunidades.
No, really.
Allá.
De pronto una realidad, well, I'm going to say first in Spanish. De pronto una realidad es que el proceso que la mujer transgénero tiene que pasar, esa es una realidad. De pronto cirugías, un proceso hormonal, eso es lo que nos identifica. Pero bueno, quería aclarar que, como lo dijo mi compañera, podríamos decir que esta fue una persona que evadió la justicia vistiéndose de mujer. Pero en cambio, la realidad de una mujer transgénero es porque vive su transición desde temprana edad y transita para poder ser ella misma. Well, I'm gonna say that the unique thing that I consider that was real in this movie about transgender people is the surgeries and the procedures that we have to do as a transgender people. That is not an easy process. It's something so hard. And well, how I told before, and that person doesn't represent us because as you say, that was a person that just dressed as a woman to avoid just this. But it's not like our process. We try to transition it just for the person that we are inside. We are transitioning because we want to show the woman that we really are inside. So it's completely different, and I think that the people never have to critique transgender just because the person that they're watching the movie. Because now, in these days, politics are using this image to critique transgender people, like they are ridiculous or they are bad. But at the end, they don't know transgender community. We are more than that people. We are smart. We are people that we can do anything in this world. Thank you.
Probably something that I can, highlight in this movie is that never is too late to change if you want to change your life. Emilia Pérez changed, lots of transitions. Probably, I don't know how old was Emilia Pérez when she went to transitions, and then it doesn't matter the life that you are living, but if you want to, you can do that. So no matter what the people want to say about you, like for me, is that empowering for Emilia is like it's never too late. If you have the money, do it.
It's interesting because I am also like a storyteller, so you can tell stories from different perspectives, and so I want to honor what we're saying, that I think what we need are more stories about the transgender characters so that we have a spectrum of stories that we can see, ¿verdad? Quiero decir que yo también soy escritor y digo cuenta, y yo creo que lo que necesitamos son más películas, más cuentas con personajes transgéneros y transgéneras para que podamos tener más un espectro, es decir, para poder ver diferentes perspectivas de nuestras vidas, ¿verdad? So then I want to say, the other thing I want to say is that I find it interesting that this movie first nobody knew about, started to get recognition, and then immediately got attacked. ¿Verdad? Quiero decir que primeramente nadie supo de esta película. Empezó en Cannes con el reconocimiento y cuando recibió conocimiento fue atacado. ¿Verdad? So I feel that all the criticism that it gets, it deserves. Todo lo crítica lo merece. Pero a la misma vez, cuando estuvimos hablando sobre esta película, que yo creo que hay un como sentido transfóbico también, que es rápido criticar esta película, que tiene unos personajes. Y tiene mucho, ¿verdad? Maybe we don't. So I said, there's also something transphobic about, I felt, that immediately the attacks are, I was like, what is this attack? ¿Verdad? Even, like, I'm going to say it deserves it, ¿verdad? De muchas veces lo merece. Pero también me estuvo curioso, ¿verdad? Que esto fue este ataque. I'm with you, right? I think I'm excited that got nominated, right? I don't think she's going to get the award, mainly because I think the competition is stiff, and mainly because of all the controversy. Because again, had this question about how can we separate the artist from the person. I think we do at some points and not. And I love that Nicole said Picasso was the first person, right? And we know that if you look at Picasso's life, like, the misogynistic, whatever. But yet he's still considered an incredible artist. So on some level, we separate the art from the artist. And I know for me it's difficult, but anyway, I want to just say that as you were talking about that in some ways, I think, I'll just end with, I think we need more representation in popular cinema and documentaries about the trans experience so that we have a more expansive view, right? Because I love that Nicole was like, I'm going to just quote you as well, I sucked a lot of dick to get here, right? That is not shame, but the reality of how we have to move forward. And I think that I want to see more of those stories. I think I want more stories. I think that's how we grow as a community. But well, I'm not going to translate. Okay, Arthur's like my coach aquí is like Spanish. I'll just say that.
And what's your name? What's your name? ¿Cómo se llama?
Necesitamos más cuentos, ¿verdad? Puede terminar con eso, que necesitamos más cuentos que dan diferentes experiencias del ambiente, de la lucha transgénero también en cine, en cuentos, en arte, para que nosotros, que es una de las maneras que aprendemos más de nuestras experiencias y si no es nuestra, de otras experiencias.
I learned that don't be afraid to ask for help, even if you do change your ways. And because she had raised money, and Zoe Saldana asked her how come she didn't write anyone of royalty, and she says, I don't know them, because you had the kingpins and the drug dealers there, and he wasn't afraid to like ask for help. And so it's good to like see that even though you change, still ask for help. And it's not about who you know, it's who comes to help you. No.
For last comments, I want to say something about the good movies. I see in these months like 3 movies, best movies, better with actress, transgender actress. It's all movie, but I recommend Sheila, Una Casa Pa' Maíta from Venezuela. And yesterday I saw like Viva, it's like a movie too from Cuba. It's very, very nice. And you remember Secreto del Rio, the Mexico, this is many movies, it don't have good publicity, but it's for transgender people, actress, and better best picture, and more better to this movie. This movie is good, but the things we have in Latin America, Hispanoamerica, best movie like this, with like directors and we from Latin America.
I'm gonna have to get a list from you for next year.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Nicole, what are some final thoughts that you might want to share as we wrap up this conversation?
Thank you for having me so much. Thank you, everyone. I think it's something when I heard about this movie that was last year, and my boyfriend John was telling me there's this amazing movie about this transgender female from Mexico, because everything was it's a Mexican movie, everything is Mexican. I'm like, wow, why not? It's my native country. I still miss it, but I haven't been back, Mexico in 30 years. So I knew it when it won, I always love independent cinema. I go to Kew Garden Cinema and I watch in a day like 3 different movies for different countries. And I don't do blockbuster movies. I'm not into movies all the way from, like France, Germany, any movie that is other language, I need to see it. I'm addicted to movie theater, independent movie theater mostly. I even go to Angelica. And I'm not a movie critic. The movie I think is a good story. I'm not gonna knock it down. I think it's a good story based on the story of the tragedy female. I think a lot of things they got it wrong. Just like nothing can be perfect, unfortunately. I also feel like he could have asked any of my siblings for the story of like close to 300 females all over Europe working as a sex worker by the Eiffel Tower. And I'm sure they have a nice stories to tell. You know, and I still, a little bothers me about me is that I chose my native country. It's true that crime is happening. It's true that a lot of people will disappear and it's being killed by the cartels. I'm not gonna deny it. There is no perfect country. You know, we got bad things all over the globe happening. I mean, it's something that actually, you know, I'm very touched by it, that people were missing, people like the 43 kids that were missing, we still not being found. My thoughts about this movie is that I do understand that life is not easy for anybody. We all struggle in different ways. And I think that, I mean, I don't know, you know, the thing is that I got to see this movie when they invited me to come over, and like, I had to see this movie not once, but I got to see it twice. And right now I see it again. Just to maybe I missed something from the costume, maybe there's something that I want to recognize. Maybe there's something that maybe remind me of myself. The only thing that remind me of myself is like she was taking hormones for 2 years. She wanted to be a girl. She said since she was little. That's not what happened to us. We had a gender dysphoria. I knew I wanted to be a girl when I was 5 years old. I just knew, I don't know why, I don't know, I think I was possessed or something, because I just knew I wanted to be a girl. But I didn't want it to be a movie star. I didn't want it to be like, the next Madonna or Selena. No, I just want to be myself, me. And I'm very happy to be who I am today. So I just think the only I can say about this movie is that doesn't represent really my community, like it really doesn't, you know, I'm sorry to say it again, but as an immigrant, Mexican, you know, and all those things that the movie talks about, it doesn't represent me at all. But I do think it's a good movie that people are talking, we don't agree and we disagree, and I think it's beautiful. We can argue, we can discuss it, we can disagree, but we don't have to get into, you know, arguments. We're just sharing as a big community, as a big family. And I think that's the message that I like, that right now we all united, different races, different colors, but we're talking about this movie. Whether I like it or not, I'm happy that all of you are here. And I'm glad that my transgender sisters are here too, because I invited them, I come over, you have to come over. I think I just want to ask, like, I really would you be more, you know, integrated as a community, advocate more for all of us. And when there's a rally, please come over and support the TGNC, the community. We don't need allies anymore, we need friends. We need family members who are, you know, supporting us, especially during those days that they wanted to a lot of benefits that we've been fighting for. Every right we have, since I remember, we've been fighting for. In 2019, we passed JETA because we had to work with so many people, so many communities to finally be able to be respected, be able to get a job without being discriminated. And transphobia is still happening. A lot of girls from my community, we cannot get a job. We don't get a job, we don't get hired. And it's not because of how I look. A lot of times it's because we didn't have the time to go to high school and finish high school. We had to go do sex work because we're gonna eat, you know, we gotta eat. So I feel like a lot of times, you know, we need a support. We don't need more support allies, we need friends, we need family members coming over and support us. Creo que para mi comunidad transgénero, hispana, de migrantes, que es bien difícil conseguir trabajo. Seguimos aún siendo discriminadas, aún seguimos que no nos dar trabajo, aún estamos viviendo la transfobia y todo el clima político que está pasando ahora nos está afectando a todos. Es algo que ahora les pido que todos nos unamos, que podamos apoyar como familia, no como aliados, sino como amigos, como familiares. We need more friends more than ever. The TGNC community, we need more friends and family, lovers, friends. Anyone who want to come over and support us, please, we need you. That's what I like about this movie, that we all coming together and we discuss these issues that they were behind doors, but we're not there. And whatever she's been, you know, like separation with the artist and what she did, I think it's a wonderful job. She did it good, you can see, but you know, she's good, she's a good actress. But I heard comments about, you know, all the comments that she's done, it's like, no, it's not what we represent. We talk about social justice. We're talking about social justice for all of us. Not just, you know, for DGNC, but also for the, you know, for the women, for everyone who's being oppressed. And we can only achieve social justice when we're all working together as a community, all of us. So please join us. We should create a new revolution, I don't know. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nicole, and thank you all. I'm gonna pass the mic to Charles or to Arthur. Okay.
Yeah, hello. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. We've got Heather, we've got Nicole, and we're so grateful to the both of you for giving to us, this great interpretation and way of seeing things. So thank you so much. We're gonna turn that disco ball on. We're gonna put some disco music on, and we're gonna hand out surveys, which are right there. And we thank you for coming. Please, bad DJ, if you could just take it away. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good